Welcome back to Winian the Learning Channel. Before we take up today's grammar topic, I would request you to please like, share and subscribe my videos. Today we are going to take up types of sentences. We have already done what sentences are, but each sentence can be different from other because it conveys a different meaning and carries a separate set of punctuation marks. Yes, I am a good boy. Or, get out of my class. Then, are you listening to me? Hey, you look awesome. Or, may God bless you. Each of these sentences is different from the other because of the meaning that it conveys and because of the punctuation mark that it carries. The first type of sentence is the assertive or declarative sentence. It is a simple sentence that gives some information. Well, a simple sentence that gives some information about the subject. I'm coming home. You look good. And how do you identify such a sentence? Well, such sentences end with a full stop and they give information about the subject. Let us look at the examples. Humpty Dumpty broke its crown. The cat is sleeping. I met a stranger on my way to school. So, Humpty Dumpty broke its crown. The information is being given about Humpty Dumpty. What happened to him? What is the cat doing? We get the information that she's sleeping. What happened to I? I met a stranger on my way to school. So, the declarative sentences were giving information and ended with a full stop. Now, the second type, imperative sentences. Well, a sentence that gives an order, advice, or request is an imperative sentence. It also ends with a full stop. So then how do you identify whether it's a declarative sentence or an imperative one? Well, the imperative sentences follow a simple rule of the CAR. C for command, A for advice, and R for request. These sentences do end with full stop, like the assertive sentences, but they are those CAR sentences, either a command or order. Go and get my bag right now. That's an order, right? So a full stop, but not an assertive, but an imperative sentence. You should obey your elders. Advice for you. Carries the word should generally. So you do come to know that it's an advice, right? Please maintain silence in the library. Again, it's a request. Please pass me the salt. Please let me come in. All these are requests. And they all end with a full stop. So, assertive gives information about the subject, but imperatives are the CAR sentences. They are either commands, advice, or requests. We come to the interrogative sentence then. A sentence that asks a question is an interrogative sentence. That's quite simple. It's a question, so obviously it's very easy to identify because it ends with a question mark. Well, it can begin with a helping word or verb or a WH word, but it's a question mark and it's a question, so obviously it's an interrogative sentence. We are going to have a look at a few of the sentences to understand it better, although it's quite easy. So the assertive, declarative, imperative with full stop, while the interrogative ends with a question mark. How are you feeling? Have you been working on your lessons last night? Am I your best friend? All these sentences are interrogative sentences, not just because they end with a question mark, but because they are asking questions. Then we come to the exclamatory sentence. Well, this one is quite easy to identify, but what is it actually? It's a sentence that expresses a strong feeling, happiness, anger, pride, surprise. These kind of sentences that express strong feelings are called exclamatory sentences. How do you identify these exclamatory sentences? The identification is quite easy. They obviously end with a question mark and they express excessive feelings, excessive happiness, excessive anger, excessive pride. I'm sure you're a little confused and we need to look into the examples. We definitely need to do that. How do you express an expressive feeling in written? An excessive feeling in written? Well, let us see. Here comes your first example. Now, what a lovely dress you are wearing. Well, if it would have been a simple assertive sentence, you would have stated, you are wearing a lovely dress. But what a lovely dress you are wearing is definitely a strong feeling. That's why the exclamation mark. How lovely the sky looks. Wow, you are too good. Wow, we won. Obviously, these are all very strong feelings expressed in a strong manner. Hence, they are exclamatory sentences. Then we move on to the fifth type of sentence, the optative sentence. Well, this sentence expresses a prayer, a wish, or a curse. It generally starts with may and wish. Sometimes may not be there, but it's a wish, it's a desire. So it also ends with an exclamation mark. Then, what's the difference between an exclamatory sentence or an optative sentence? Well, an exclamatory sentence expresses a very strong feeling, while optative sentence expresses a desire or a wish. May you live long. I wish I were a fairy. So, in these two sentences, the first one is a prayer. Somebody is wishing, somebody is praying for your long life. It's a desire. I wish I were a fairy is obviously a very strong desire to be a fairy. Now, let us go through these sentences and see how many of them we can identify. How well she sings! Exclamation. What is your name? Question mark. She's a successful writer. Full stop. It is raining cats and dogs. Full stop. Go at once. Full stop. The punctuation marks do help us to identify the sentence to some extent, but there are sentences that share the same punctuation mark in the end. So, we need to understand the meaning that the sentence conveys because that's what sets each sentence apart from the other one. Taking the first few, how well she sings is definitely not a question. You don't want to answer that. That's praise. And that's an exclamation mark. What's your name is quite obvious. It's a question. She's a successful writer. It is raining cats and dogs are giving information. Obviously, they are assertive sentences. Go at once. That's an order, right? You got to go. Command. Remember car? So it's an imperative sentence. My mother makes delicious cookies is information about mother. So it's an assertive sentence. Get lost is definitely an order. You're being asked to leave. Car. So it's a command again and imperative sentence. Wish you a safe journey is a prayer. Somebody is wishing for you. Desire. So it's an optative sentence, although there's an exclamation mark. Please be seated is a request. Again. So imperative. May you have a long life is a desire, a wish. So again, it's an optative sentence. Exclamation mark. Bring that file here is a command, although a very mild one as compared to get lost or go at once, but it's a command and it's an imperative sentence. Hey, that's a big cat is definitely quite an expression of surprise. Therefore, it is again an exclamatory sentence. So, my dear friends, 5 types of sentences, assertive or declarative, that they end with a full stop, give us some information. Imperative, they also end with a full stop, but they are either commands, advices, or requests. Then, interrogative is definitely a question and optative, a wish or desire. Goodbye.